Liam and Mia had been looking forward to this weekend for weeks. Their little cabin, tucked away at the edge of a quiet forest neighborhood, was their favorite place in the world. It was small but cozy, made of warm wooden logs with a red door that Mia had painted herself. The smell of fresh pine filled the air, and soft sunlight filtered through the tall trees, making everything look golden and calm. After a busy week in the city, Liam and Mia loved coming here to relax. They would spend their days hiking nearby trails, cooking simple meals over the small stove, and reading books by the window. On this Saturday morning, the sun was shining, and birds sang happily in the branches above. Liam was sitting on the porch, sipping a cup of tea, while Mia prepared breakfast inside. The quiet was perfect. A gentle breeze moved the leaves, and the world seemed at peace. But then, suddenly, the peaceful morning was broken by loud footsteps coming up the driveway. The sound was heavy and fast, like someone was rushing, angry or in a hurry. Liam looked up from his tea, frowning in confusion. Who could that be, he wondered aloud. Before he could say more, a loud, sharp voice echoed through the trees. "You there? Open up," the voice called out, full of anger. Liam stood up quickly and walked toward the sound. At the end of their driveway stood Mrs. Miller, the woman everyone in the neighborhood called Karen behind her back. She was the local HOA, Homeowners Association, representative, known for being strict and quick to complain. Mrs. Miller had a reputation for yelling and making trouble over small things. Today, she looked as angry as Liam had ever seen her. Her eyes were wide, her face red, and she waved a wrinkled paper in her hand as if it were a weapon. "You've broken the rules," she shouted. "I'm here to inspect your cabin right now." Liam felt a rush of surprise and irritation. "Inspect? What rules?" "We've always followed the rules," he said calmly but firmly. Mrs. Miller didn't answer. Instead, she stomped up the steps toward the porch, almost pushing Liam aside as she tried to get in. "You have no right to stop me," she barked. Mia appeared in the doorway, holding a plate of toast. She looked surprised to see Mrs. Miller standing there, shouting so loudly. "Mrs. Miller, please," Mia said gently. "Can you tell us what this is about?" But Mrs. Miller ignored Mia and continued her loud complaints. "Your cabin's lawn is too long. Your windows aren't the right color. You're breaking the rules for everyone to see." Liam and Mia exchanged a glance. They knew the lawn hadn't been cut in a few weeks, but it wasn't wild or messy. And the windows? They had replaced one broken glass last month with a clear pane, just like the old one. Mia stepped forward again, trying to stay calm. "We didn't mean to cause any problems. If there is something wrong, we want to fix it. But please, tell us exactly what the problem is." Mrs. Miller didn't slow down. "I don't have to explain. I have the right to inspect your home whenever I want. You need to open the door and let me in." Liam felt a mixture of anger and worry. This was their home, their safe place. Could Mrs. Miller really come in without permission? He looked at Mia, hoping she would know what to do. Mia took a deep breath and smiled softly. "Mrs. Miller, the HOA can't enter someone's home without legal permission or a warrant. Please understand that." Mrs. Miller's face twisted in anger. "I'm the HOA. I have all the rights here. You think you can stop me with your little rules?" Liam's eyes narrowed. "We're not trying to cause trouble. We just want to protect our home." For a moment, Mrs. Miller looked like she might yell more, but then she paused. She glanced around, noticing the neighbors watching from their windows and yards. Some were nodding quietly at Liam and Mia, others looked worried. Mia took another step forward and said in a calm voice, "If you want to inspect, please show us your warrant. Otherwise, we won't let you in." Mrs. Miller blinked and looked surprised. "Warrant? I don't need a warrant. This is a neighborhood, not a courtroom." Liam shook his head slowly. "Actually, the law is clear. You can't come inside without one. We want to work with you, but we have to protect ourselves." Mrs. Miller's face turned redder, but she didn't say anything more. Instead, she stood there, holding her paper tightly, looking as if she was trying to decide what to do next. Mia put her hand on Liam's arm, silently telling him to stay calm. Liam nodded, feeling proud of how strong Mia was being. The tension in the air was thick. It felt like time had stopped. Then, without another word, Mrs. Miller turned sharply and stomped back down the driveway. She shouted once more, "This isn't over. I'll be back." Liam closed the door behind her and locked it, his heart still pounding. Mia looked at him with a tired but relieved smile. "We'll handle this," she said softly. "Together." Liam nodded and wrapped his arm around her. Outside, the quiet returned slowly, but the shadow of today's visit stayed with them. In that moment, Liam realized something important. Their cabin was more than just a place to rest, it was a home worth protecting, no matter what came. The next morning, the sunlight spilled through the curtains of Liam and Mia's cabin, casting warm patterns on the wooden floor. Despite the calm appearance of the day, the memory of Mrs. Miller's visit hung heavily in the air. Liam brewed fresh coffee while Mia prepared breakfast, but neither of them could fully relax. Just as they sat down at the small kitchen table, the sharp sound of a knock echoed from the front door. Liam's heart jumped. He glanced at Mia, who gave a small, knowing sigh. "It's her," Mia said softly. Liam stood and opened the door to find Mrs. Miller once again, holding that same wrinkled paper and looking even more determined than before. "I'm back," she announced. "And this time, I won't leave without doing a full inspection. You're breaking the neighborhood rules, and it must stop." Mia stepped forward, calm but firm. "Mrs. Miller, please tell us exactly what rules we have broken. We want to understand." Mrs. Miller's lips tightened. "Your lawn is overgrown, your driveway isn't clean, and I have complaints about the color of your shutters." Liam frowned. "We trimmed the lawn last week, and the driveway is swept regularly. And the shutters are the same color as when we moved in." Mrs. Miller waved her hand dismissively. "That's not good enough. People have complained, and it's my job to make sure you fix it." Mia smiled gently, but her eyes were sharp. "Do you have a list of these complaints, Mrs. Miller? We would like to see them so we can address the concerns." Mrs. Miller hesitated, then muttered, "No, I don't have the list with me." Liam felt his frustration growing but kept his voice calm. "Without proof or written complaints, it's hard for us to know what to fix." Mrs. Miller's face grew red with anger. "You think you can ignore the rules? The HOA is in charge here." Mia shook her head. "We respect the rules, but respect works both ways. You can't just make claims without evidence." Mrs. Miller's eyes narrowed. "I can do what I want. This is my neighborhood." Liam crossed his arms. "This is our home too, Mrs. Miller. And we deserve respect." For a moment, the two women stared at each other, the air thick with tension. Then Mrs. Miller turned and pointed at the cabin. "I'm going to inspect everything inside. Whether you like it or not. Mia's voice was calm but steady. Mrs. Miller, again, we ask you to show a warrant if you want to enter. Without it, we cannot let you inside. Mrs. Miller's face twisted in frustration. A warrant? You think this is a court? I don't need a warrant for a simple inspection. Liam stepped closer. Actually, the law says otherwise. You need legal permission to enter someone's private property. The older woman's eyes flickered, and for the first time, a hint of uncertainty showed. She looked around nervously, then said in a quieter voice, I'm just doing my job. Mia nodded kindly. We understand that. But we want to cooperate in a fair way. Mrs. Miller looked down at her feet, seeming less certain now. I just want the neighborhood to look nice. I want everyone to follow the rules. Liam smiled softly. We want that too. We want to be good neighbors. Mia stepped forward and said, why don't we talk about the real issues? We can find a solution together. Mrs. Miller looked up, surprised. You want to work with me? Mia nodded. Yes. If we know what the problems are, we can fix them. Liam added, but it has to be fair. We need to see any complaints or reports before we can act. Mrs. Miller hesitated but then gave a small nod. I suppose that's reasonable. Mia smiled warmly. Thank you. We appreciate it. The tension in the air softened, and Mrs. Miller seemed to relax a little. She looked around at the neighbors who had gathered quietly nearby, some nodding in agreement. Liam felt hope. Maybe this conflict could be solved without more shouting or anger. Before Mrs. Miller left, Mia said, if you have questions or concerns in the future, please call us first. We want to work together. Mrs. Miller paused and then said quietly, I will try. As she walked away, Liam closed the door and turned to Mia. That went better than I expected. Mia smiled. Sometimes kindness is the strongest answer. Liam sat down at the table and took a deep breath. But we still need to be ready. I don't think this is over. Mia nodded, her eyes serious. We'll face it together. Always. Outside, the sun shone brighter, and birds resumed their songs. But inside the cabin, Liam and Mia knew they would need patience and courage for what was coming next. They were ready. After Mrs. Miller's visit, the cabin felt quieter than usual. Liam and Mia went about their daily routines, trying to focus on the peaceful weekend they had planned. But the memory of the confrontation lingered in their minds like a shadow. Liam stood by the window, looking out at the tall pine trees that surrounded their home. The breeze moved gently through the leaves, but the calm outside didn't match the nervous feeling inside him. Mia sat at the kitchen table, writing a list of small repairs and chores they needed to do around the cabin. She wanted to be prepared if Mrs. Miller or the HOA came back with more complaints. We should fix the lawn soon, Mia said quietly, folding the paper and placing it in her bag. Even if it's not a big problem, it might stop them from complaining. Liam nodded. Agreed. I'll mow it first thing tomorrow morning. They worked together for the rest of the day, cleaning the porch, sweeping the driveway, and making sure the windows were spotless. Mia even painted the shutters a fresh coat of the same green color they always used, hoping it would show their care for the cabin. By evening, the cabin looked bright and welcoming, as if they were ready to invite the world inside. But Liam still felt uneasy. That woman won't give up, he said, stirring their dinner quietly. She's already angry, and now she knows we won't just open the door for her. Mia smiled softly. Maybe she's just frustrated. Sometimes people act out because they feel powerless. Liam looked at her. You always see the good in people. Mia shrugged. I try. But I also know we need to be ready if she tries something else. That night, Liam and Mia went to bed early. They wanted to be rested in case the next day brought more trouble. But sleep did not come easily. Liam's mind raced with what-if questions. What if Mrs. Miller called the city authorities? What if she brought others to inspect without permission? Mia held his hand and whispered, we will handle whatever comes. Together. The next morning was cool and bright. Liam stepped outside with the lawnmower, the fresh morning air filling his lungs. As he pushed the mower across the grass, he felt a strange mix of peace and tension. Nearby, Mrs. Miller's house sat quietly, but Liam couldn't stop glancing in that direction, half expecting her to appear at any moment. Hours passed. No visitors came. Mia joined Liam outside, carrying glasses of cold lemonade. See? Maybe she's given up. Liam smiled. I hope so. But as they sat on the porch, a car slowly drove past the cabin. It stopped at the end of their driveway, and the driver stepped out. It was a man Liam had never seen before. He wore a neat suit and carried a folder under his arm. His face was serious but polite. Good morning, the man said, walking up to the porch. I'm Mr. Adams, a representative from the city. Liam exchanged a quick glance with Mia. How can we help you? Mr. Adams opened his folder and pulled out some papers. I'm here to perform an official inspection of your property. The HOA filed a complaint, so I have this warrant allowing me to enter and check. Mia's eyes widened slightly, but she stayed calm. May we see the warrant, please? Mr. Adams handed over the document. Liam took it and read carefully. It was a legal order from the city court, giving him permission to inspect the cabin and grounds. Liam looked back at Mr. Adams. Thank you for showing this. We want to cooperate. Mr. Adams nodded. I appreciate that. I'm here to ensure everything is safe and follows city regulations. Mia asked, how long will the inspection take? Not very long, Mr. Adams replied. Just a few hours. Liam and Mia stepped aside to let him in. As Mr. Adams walked through the cabin, checking the walls, windows, and outside areas, Liam and Mia stayed nearby but gave him space to work. The process was slow but quiet. Mr. Adams took notes and pictures, then smiled as he finished. Everything looks good, he said. There are no violations here. Liam felt relief wash over him. Thank you. Mr. Adams nodded again. If the HOA has any other concerns, they must handle them through the proper channels. Until then, you have the right to enjoy your home peacefully. Mia smiled. That's what we want. After Mr. Adams left, Liam and Mia closed the door behind him and sat down together. This inspection was nerve-wracking, Mia said softly. Liam nodded. But it also showed us we're doing the right thing by standing up for ourselves. Mia reached out and took his hand. No matter what comes next, we'll face it side by side. Liam smiled, feeling stronger than before. Outside, the sun was shining brighter now, and the forest seemed alive with hope. For the first time since Mrs. Miller's angry visit, Liam and Mia truly believed their cabin was safe. But deep down, they both knew this was only the beginning. The days after the city inspector's visit were quieter, but Liam and Mia both knew Mrs. Miller's storm had not yet passed. They felt a strange mix of relief and worry. Relief that their cabin was officially safe, but worry that Mrs. Miller might try something else. Mia was in the living room, carefully arranging fresh flowers on the table when Liam came inside. His face was serious. "I just saw Mrs. Miller again," he said quietly. Mia stopped what she was doing and looked at him. "What happened?" "She was outside, near the mailbox. Watching the cabin like a hawk. She didn't say anything, but I could tell she wasn't happy." Mia nodded slowly. "She's upset because the inspection didn't find anything wrong. But she's not used to being stopped." Liam sighed. "I think she wants to scare us or make us feel small. But I won't let her." Mia smiled softly. "We won't let her." The next day, they decided to sit down and talk about what to do next. They wanted a plan not just to protect their cabin, but to keep their peace. "We can't control Mrs. Miller," Liam said. "But we can control how we respond." Mia agreed. "If she tries to come back, we'll stay calm and polite. We won't argue, but we'll protect ourselves." Liam looked at her, grateful for her strength. "That sounds right." That evening, they wrote a letter to the HOA board, explaining the situation from their side. They asked for clear communication and proper procedures. They wanted respect, just like they gave. After sending the letter, Liam and Mia felt a little more hopeful. But the real test came the next morning. There was a sudden knock at the door, sharp, insistent. Mia opened it slowly and found Mrs. Miller standing there, looking angry but careful. "Good morning, Mrs. Miller," Mia said calmly. Mrs. Miller held up a paper. "I'm back with this notice from the HOA," she said. "It says you must let me inspect the cabin immediately. No excuses." Mia took the paper and read it quietly. It was signed by the HOA president, but the language was demanding and harsh. Liam joined them at the door. "May we see a warrant or legal document?" he asked firmly. Mrs. Miller's eyes narrowed. "This letter is all the permission I need. The HOA has the right to enforce the rules." Mia shook her head. "We respect the HOA's role. But as the city inspector said, legal permission is required to enter our home." Mrs. Miller looked frustrated. "I'm just doing what the board told me." Liam said, "Then the board should know that their notice isn't enough. We want to cooperate, but the law protects us." Mrs. Miller's face showed confusion and anger. "You're making this harder than it needs to be." Mia smiled gently. "We're only asking for fairness." Mrs. Miller looked around, noticing neighbors watching from behind curtains and over fences. For a moment, her anger softened. Liam added, "If you have concerns, please bring them to us in writing. We'll fix what needs fixing." Mrs. Miller bit her lip, then handed the letter back. "I'll tell the board. But I'm not happy." Mia closed the door softly. Inside, Liam and Mia breathed deeply, feeling both tired and strong. "We stood our ground," Liam said with a small smile. Mia nodded. "And we stayed kind." That afternoon, they heard from a neighbor that the HOA board had received their letter. Some members wanted to talk to Liam and Mia directly. When the call came, Liam and Mia listened carefully as the board expressed their concerns. But unlike Mrs. Miller, they spoke politely and with respect. "We want everyone to be happy here," one board member said. "Maybe we need better rules and clearer communication." Mia agreed. "That would help a lot. We want to be good neighbors and follow the rules, but we also want respect." Liam added, "And we want to know the facts before anyone makes accusations." The conversation ended with a promise to work together. Liam and Mia felt a new kind of hope. That evening, they sat on their porch, watching the sun set behind the trees. "Maybe this is the turning point," Mia said softly. Liam smiled and took her hand. "I think you're right." For the first time in weeks, the cabin felt peaceful again. Not because the trouble was over, but because Liam and Mia knew they had found their strength. They would protect their home, their peace, and their respect no matter what came next. The days after the conversation with the HOA board were filled with cautious hope. Liam and Mia felt a small weight lift from their shoulders. Maybe now, things would calm down, and their peaceful life at the cabin could continue. But peace, as they soon learned, can be fragile. One morning, while Liam was fixing the fence outside, Mia was inside arranging flowers on the kitchen table. Suddenly, the sound of a car pulling into their driveway caught their attention. It was a different woman, someone Liam and Mia had never seen before. She wore a professional suit and carried a clipboard. "Good morning," the woman said, smiling politely. "I'm Miss Parker, from the City Code Enforcement Office. I'm here to follow up on a complaint from the HOA." Liam stepped forward, steady and calm. "Hello, Miss Parker. Welcome. Do you have a warrant or official papers?" Miss Parker nodded and pulled out a document. "Yes, this is an official notice authorizing me to inspect your property." Mia took the papers and read them carefully. "Thank you for showing these. We want to cooperate fully." Miss Parker began her inspection, walking around the cabin, checking the lawn, the driveway, and the exterior walls. Liam and Mia watched closely, hoping everything would be in order. As the inspection went on, Miss Parker asked questions in a polite voice. "Have you made any recent changes to your cabin or property?" "No," Mia replied. "We've kept everything as it was and made small repairs when needed." Miss Parker nodded. "Good. That helps." After nearly an hour, Miss Parker finished her inspection. She smiled warmly. "Everything seems to be in good condition. I will report that no violations were found." Liam felt a wave of relief. "Thank you, Miss Parker." Before leaving, Miss Parker added, "If you ever have any questions or concerns about city codes, feel free to contact my office." That night, Liam and Mia sat together on their porch, feeling grateful for the kind inspector's visit. But just as they began to relax, the peace was broken again. The next day, a letter arrived in their mailbox. It was from the HOA. Liam opened the envelope carefully. Inside was a formal notice, this time from the HOA's legal team. The letter said that Liam and Mia were being fined for several violations related to their cabin and property. It demanded immediate payment and threatened further legal action if they did not comply. Mia's hands shook as she read the letter. "This can't be real," she said softly. Liam frowned. "It's real. But it's unfair. We've done nothing wrong." They sat in silence, feeling the weight of the new challenge. "We need help," Liam finally said. Mia nodded. "Maybe a lawyer." They began researching local legal aid organizations and found a group that helped homeowners with neighborhood disputes. After calling, they arranged a meeting with an attorney named Mr. Harper. The next week, Liam and Mia met with Mr. Harper in his small office. He listened carefully as they explained the situation: the visits from Mrs. Miller, the city inspections, and now the unfair fines. Mr. Harper smiled kindly. "You're in a strong position. The city inspections show no violations, and the HOA can't fine you without proper cause." Liam felt hopeful. "What should we do?" "First," Mr. Harper said, "don't pay any fines yet. We will send a letter to the HOA demanding they stop harassment and provide proper evidence if they want to enforce any rules. Mia asked, what if they don't listen? Then we will take the matter to court. But often, a clear legal letter is enough to make them reconsider. Liam and Mia left the office feeling more confident. They knew the road ahead might be difficult, but now they had a plan. Back at the cabin, Liam looked around at the place they loved so much. This cabin is more than wood and nails, he said. It's our home. And we'll fight to protect it? Mia smiled and squeezed his hand. Together, no matter what. Days passed, and Liam sent the letter Mr. Harper helped write to the HOA. The letter was firm but polite, demanding that the HOA stop unfair fines and harassment, and reminding them of the city's inspection results. For a few days, no response came. Then one morning, Liam noticed Mrs. Miller watching from her window again. Mia took a deep breath. Let's stay calm. We've done everything right. Suddenly, the phone rang. It was the HOA president calling to arrange a meeting. Liam and Mia agreed. When the day of the meeting arrived, they were nervous but prepared. At the HOA office, they sat down with Mrs. Miller, the president, and a few other board members. The president spoke first. We received your letter and reviewed the city inspections. We want to resolve this peacefully. Mrs. Miller looked angry but said nothing. Liam replied, we want peace too. We only want clear communication and respect. The meeting lasted for hours. Some board members listened carefully, others argued quietly. But in the end, the HOA agreed to drop the fines and to follow proper legal steps in the future. Mia smiled. This is progress. Liam nodded. Yes. It's a new beginning. As they left the HOA office, Liam and Mia felt proud. They had faced many challenges, but their love for their home and each other had carried them through. They returned to their cabin, ready to enjoy their peaceful life once again. After the long meeting with the HOA, Liam and Mia felt a new sense of relief. The heavy cloud of stress seemed to lift, and the cabin finally felt like their safe place again. But they both knew that lasting peace wouldn't come without effort. The next morning, Liam woke early and stepped outside to breathe the fresh air. The sun was just rising, painting the sky with soft pink and orange colors. Birds chirped happily in the trees, and the gentle rustling of leaves made everything feel calm. Mia joined him on the porch, holding 2 steaming cups of coffee. She smiled softly. It feels good to have this morning to ourselves. Liam nodded. It does. We earned it. They sat together in silence for a few moments, simply enjoying the quiet. For weeks, they had been caught up in the storm of complaints, inspections, and legal letters. Now, they could finally focus on what really mattered: their life together in the cabin. I want to make this place even better, Mia said suddenly. Not just for us, but for the whole neighborhood. Liam looked at her, surprised but pleased. What do you mean? I think if we help create a friendlier community, we won't have to worry about conflicts like this again, Mia explained. Maybe we can organize neighborhood events or help neighbors who need a hand. Liam smiled. I like that idea. That afternoon, Liam and Mia went for a walk around the neighborhood. They stopped to chat with a few neighbors, some of whom had been watching the cabin drama from a distance. To their surprise, many were kind and supportive. One neighbor, an elderly man named Mr. Jenkins, waved as they passed. Glad to see you're still here, he said warmly. We all want peace too. Liam and Mia felt hopeful. Maybe the neighborhood wasn't as divided as they had thought. Back at the cabin, they began planning a small gathering, a picnic where neighbors could meet, talk, and enjoy the outdoors together. They sent invitations, and soon enough, several neighbors said they would come. The day of the picnic arrived with bright sunshine and warm weather. Liam and Mia set up blankets, food, and games on the grassy area near the cabins. Slowly, neighbors arrived, greeting each other with smiles. Even Mrs. Miller came, although she stayed quiet at first. As the afternoon passed, conversations grew warmer and friendships started to form. Liam noticed Mrs. Miller watching the children play and smiling slightly. Mia approached her gently. "Thank you for coming," Mia said softly. Mrs. Miller nodded. "I suppose it's good to see everyone together." Liam joined them. "We all want the neighborhood to be a happy place." Mrs. Miller sighed. "Maybe I was too harsh before. I just wanted things to be perfect." Mia smiled kindly. "We all want that, but sometimes kindness works better than rules." Mrs. Miller's eyes softened, and for the first time, Liam felt a real connection. As the sun began to set, the picnic ended with laughter and promises to meet again. That night, Liam and Mia sat on their porch, feeling grateful. "We did something good today," Mia said. Liam nodded. "Yes. We found peace not just in our home, but in the neighborhood." Days turned into weeks, and the new sense of community grew stronger. Liam and Mia helped neighbors with small tasks, shared meals, and created a neighborhood group to discuss ideas and concerns openly. Mrs. Miller slowly became part of this group. She softened her approach and started helping organize events instead of complaining. Liam and Mia felt proud to be part of something positive. One afternoon, Liam looked out the window and saw Mrs. Miller watering her garden, smiling as she worked. He realized that change was possible, even for those who seemed the hardest to reach. Mia joined him and said, "It's amazing what kindness and patience can do." Liam smiled. "And what love can build." Their cabin, once the center of tension, was now a symbol of hope and friendship. And Liam and Mia knew that no matter what challenges came their way in the future, they had found the true strength to face them together with respect, kindness, and love. The peaceful days after the neighborhood picnic gave Liam and Mia a sense of calm they had not felt in a long time. The cabin, surrounded by the tall trees and gentle breeze, felt like the true home they always dreamed of. Even Mrs. Miller seemed different now. She still cared deeply about the neighborhood, but her harshness had softened into a quiet kindness. She greeted Liam and Mia with a nod, and sometimes even a small smile. One morning, as Liam was watering the plants outside, Mrs. Miller walked up with a basket of freshly picked apples from her garden. "I thought you might like some," she said quietly. Liam smiled, accepting the basket. "Thank you, Mrs. Miller. That's very kind of you." Mia came out and joined them. "The apples smell wonderful." Mrs. Miller looked at them both and said, "I'm sorry for all the trouble I caused before. I realize now I was too strict and not very kind." Mia placed a hand on Mrs. Miller's arm. "It's okay. We all make mistakes. What matters is that we move forward." Mrs. Miller nodded, her eyes soft with gratitude. "I want to help make this neighborhood a better place." From that day, things began to change even more. The HOA board started holding monthly meetings open to all neighbors, where everyone could share their ideas and concerns. Liam and Mia often attended, and Mrs. Miller became one of the most active members, using her energy for good instead of conflict. Liam felt proud to see how a difficult situation had turned into a chance for growth and friendship. One afternoon, Mia sat on the porch, reading a book, when Liam joined her with 2 cups of tea. "Do you remember when this all started?" he asked, smiling. Mia laughed softly. "How could I forget? I thought we would never get through it." "But we did," Liam said. "Because we stayed calm and kind." Mia nodded. "And because we believed in each other." They sat quietly, enjoying the warm sun and peaceful sounds of nature. Later that week, they received an invitation to a special neighborhood event celebrating the new community spirit. Liam and Mia prepared a small gift, a basket of homemade bread and jams to share. At the event, neighbors gathered around, sharing food, stories, and laughter. Mrs. Miller stood nearby, chatting warmly with several families. Liam caught Mia's eye and whispered, "This feels like a new beginning." Mia smiled. "It is." As the sun set, Liam and Mia stepped outside, breathing in the fresh evening air. Their cabin, once a place of conflict, was now a home full of hope and friendship. And they knew that no matter what challenges life brought, their love and courage would always light the way.